Continue our focus on everything that's happening in Eastern Kentucky and ways that you can help. I want to put the spotlight now on Save the Children. It's a national leader in protecting children in emergencies. They have been helping kids recover from major disasters since Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. They've been in Eastern Kentucky since the 1930s. So, of course, they are there helping following all this devastating flooding. And a team has been working to get essential items to Eastern Kentucky's kids, families, and communities. Today, we're hearing about those efforts from the head of the Kentucky response, Greta Wetzel, joining us here in the studio. You know, and I was completely unaware. You guys have been there for a long time. So you know the heartache that has been there to begin with. And talk about what you're seeing there now and what you're able to do.
Yeah, so we're seeing that communities are destroyed, and you know, the normalcy that children and families had in place is no longer there. And so Save the Children, we are always there providing educational supports to these communities. And when this disaster hit, we were immediately on the ground and helping them to get those really immediate necessary supplies. So food, water, cash cards, diapers, wipes, all of those supplies that you don't necessarily think of for children right away. We're putting those in place, as well as starting to look at what are those educational needs for children and the longer term as we start to recover from this response.
The video that we have here is a bus that plays a really integral part in your efforts there, because many people don't have a car, or if they had a car, it's been washed away.
Right.
So tell me about Rosie.
So Rosie is our Rosie the Readiness Bus, and for this response, our amazing community partners immediately started to load it up with hot meals and started to drive out into those communities that were safe to pass and started to deliver the necessary supplies to children, as well as we have some comfort kits that have teddy bears and little activities for children to help them return to learning and return to play, because we know that as soon as children are able to get back to their routines and get back to play, that they'll be able to have a great recovery.
You know, and that normalcy is so important with schools, but so many of these schools have just been wiped away. You know, what can you all do to kind of maybe bridge that gap, or that you plan to do that you've done over the summer?
Yeah, so our teams are working with the superintendents right now to identify what those needs are and start to put plans in place to supply them with the necessary materials that they need, to supply their staff with the social and emotional supports that the children may need as well as they're returning to school. And then in areas where some schools are not able to open, we are helping those community partners continue summer programming.
That's a great idea.
With our funding. So we're very fortunate to have amazing community partners, and these communities are incredible. And Save the Children.
We're so happy to have you there to begin with. You know, like you said, they're just so grateful that you're there to help.
Yes, and Save the Children has been there since 1932, and we're going to continue to be there and support these needs.
Well, of course, we've been putting up a QR code for people to help with specific donations. What are your specific needs, or how can people help you all directly?
So Save the Children can go to, or people can support Save the Children by going to SaveTheChildren.org, and there will be a link to our Eastern Kentucky flood crisis that they can help and support through their cash donations that can help us to rebuild those schools and those learning centers for children and get all of those necessary supplies that they need.
All right, Greta, thank you so much. Thanks to your team for everything they're doing there on the ground. Your work is so needed.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely. We want to remind everybody, if you want to donate or learn more about the great work that they are doing, just head on over to SaveTheChildren.org.